Alright, this is just our second instalment for the videos for the Whitefriargate project. Last time we just had basic block out and a couple of concept ideas with thinking where we were going to go next to advance the projects. So this time we're just going to give you a long overdue update to where we are at. So Phil's just going to launch it.
Yeah, we've started, well, we've nearly modelled most of Whitefriargate, the actual main street. So we've got a lot of buildings done for the whole strip, as well as down Parliament Street, which is our primary goal. As you can see, a lot of them are finished, if not close to being finished. But we're on the way with that. We've started building a road system as well, a modular road pack, to tie it all together and bring the level to life a bit more.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've started texturing some of the buildings. People who have been slightly faster than others have started adding basic textures, not final product, but at least giving it some form of visual to what it might be in the end. Other than that, as you can see, we have now got some vehicles in the engine. That's my little Mini here. Not fully finished, as you can see. It's not textured. It's just got a basic specular, shiny looking metallic overall on it.
We put these in just as a placeholder for now.
Yeah.
As you can see, they're all the same car. We don't want that on the street really.
No.
But as we model more and get more done, we can start putting them in the level as well, making it feel a bit more natural.
Yeah. We've also done a furniture van further down there, which is going to be part of a concept where these guys here will be lifting out furniture, maybe sofas, cupboards, just to make the blockouts feel more real than just having a random blocking volume, which we discussed in the last video.
Yeah.
As you can see, there's some form of life which has been put into the project. Phil has built a nav mesh.
A basic AI for the characters. They randomly walk around the map on the paths and can only cross the roads at certain points, like here.
Like that guy's just done.
What a little guy.
There he goes. Yeah, the basics for what we have set ourselves for the January hand-in, which is about interactive environments. So we need to have interactivity to our level. So there needs to be some form of gameplay features. As a group, we decided to pin down the idea of a treasure hunt, where the player would go find items, pick them up, and maybe piece together something, or they need an item to open something. As Phil's just been there, we've done a little key pickup there, so you'd pick up the key, you'd open the gate, and it'd let you go somewhere else. It's currently not working.
Triggers, you can E to pick up the key and E to open the gate as well, but you need to find the key to open the gate. It was working, but now it's just, for whatever reason, doesn't recognise that I have the key anymore. Bit of a bug with the blueprint, but I'll figure it out and we'll get that finished properly.
Yep. We
intend to have a ladder system just down there. There's stairs, like a fire escape leading up, and a ladder on the top. But a ladder is more interactivity in our level, and it also adds some slight vertigo, so we can get up higher and maybe look around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the hand-in, we've set ourselves Parliament Street and Whitefriargate as the main two streets, so that we're not pushing. We're sort of pushing to get them done to a decent standard for the hand-in in January, but the final hand-in is at the end of the year, so that's when the rest of the streets will be completed. But for now, the focus is just these. As you can see, we're missing some buildings on the right where people haven't finished their models yet or haven't handed them in for some reason, but we have certain ones like Victor's Bank there that look absolutely amazing. Yeah. So Phil is actually using a controller. So there it is, Xbox controller that we bought for the project, so that it's easier to play rather than using keys on the keyboard. So that's been blueprinted in. It also has a run.
Oh yeah, walk and a sprint. So
walk and a sprint. Yeah.
push forward normally. You're just walking. Push forward, walk. Hold it down and you sprint. So you can just walk down and you can get around the place pretty quick.
Yeah.
It adds it's a bit of a faster way to travel around the level. This is not going to be the final speed in the game, as you can see.
Very fast.
Running a couple of 100 meters per second here. So I've added a player as well, so you can see your legs and hands as you're walking, which is what we're going to do for the final game, as well as the potential of multi-subbing the windows so that they have reflections. We've got a basic reflection material there now, but it disappears when you get close. So we'd like to develop that a bit further, and you'll be able to see your own reflection within the game. Obviously it'll only be our character that we model, but it'll add a new dynamic, we think, make the level a bit more believable.
Yeah. Going back to the treasure hunt idea, we had a few ideas, stuff like a 60s specific trail, a music trail, a fashion trail, a history hunt sort of thing. Even stuff like a Doctor Who related one, just for the 60s. But we've sort of decided, time permitted, that we should do as many trails as possible so that the player can pick in relation to what they want to go find. So maybe you're into your history, you'll want to pick the history hunt, you won't want to do one that is specific on music because you might not be into that. So it gives it a bit more of a personal feel to it, you're picking what you want to play. Also it increases the amount of assets that we can generate for the project, so we shouldn't run out of anything to do at any point. These assets have been delegated to people for over the Christmas break, which comes up next week, so hopefully we'll have a lot of that back by next semester.
Yeah, well, before the end of Christmas, hopefully, people will be generating their assets and just putting them on Basecamp so that we can start putting the level together, really bringing it to a close, because there is only about a month or so left to our hand-in.
Yep. As far as the HUD system goes, all we have at the moment is, as you saw before with the key, which Phil has picked up, it had like a distance, so but it only did it from a certain distance, so you can't just find the assets easily. We're thinking about placing like clues and maybe little newspapers that will guide you towards certain assets. There's also now a pause menu. You can resume the game or you can quit the game. Now we're back. Yeah, as far as vehicle goes, there's going to be everyone doesn't have a Mini. So hopefully people start to come forward and help myself with the vehicles. I know Phil's going to give it a go.
No, I'm doing two.
You're doing two, aren't you?
Yeah.
Victor's going to do a bus. But then the rest are down to me at the moment, so hopefully we get some more people, and hopefully if that happens we work as a group and we can get some more done, because obviously cars is wide range.
Yep.
From all ages.
With the HUD, we've had an idea of, instead of it being a pause menu like we just showed you, we bring up a map instead of the whole area, so we could draw up a map of like however we wanted to. and indicate it with the locations of either items to collect for the treasure hunt or items you've already collected. So it can mark it off. You can give yourself a feeling of progression. You can either tick them off the list as you get them, or it adds them to the list as you get them. So you're either building up or... Someone just stood on the key. That was weird. Yeah, so you can either add to a list and say, yes, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this, or you can take away from a list saying, I've only got these left to find. Both ideas are really, really strong for what we want to do, and we think they're both accomplishable within Blueprint and the knowledge we have at the moment.
Yeah, as far as the life that we have at the moment, this is just the basic character mesh that is supplied in UE4. We're going to model some really generic characters, so maybe a couple of men, couple of women, maybe some children. I'm not sure on that yet. But we'll obviously do clothes related to the fashion of the period. This isn't going to be too difficult because we'll just use the basic character mesh in ZBrush and Retopper to draw clothes on, or even in Max really, and then just change the textures. So we could have a few wearing a red top, blue top. You know, it makes it look like it doesn't break the immersion because they're all wearing different stuff.
Multiple iterations of the same clothes, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All the stuff that's in here at the minute with regards to vehicles and life is just a placeholder, so that we have a visual representation of what we want to accomplish.
Yeah.
So these guys who are stood down here, these could be buskers or something like that. People walking around, these could be anybody on the street. The cars could be any cars. We're not sure if we're going to try and get vehicles moving yet within the street, because that might be... It might break immersion, because if a character's walking across the street and a car just decides to run him over, then it would look a bit odd. But we might...
We did have the idea of driving a car at some point, but that's purely time permitted. These guys are just having a conversation here. And they're done.
Oh, yeah.
But
Nice.
Maybe a simple AI path for a car, going down the street round, and
Yeah.
But this is all time permitted. These are just ideas that people have had and we've had, and this is where it's at. It's looking really good at the moment. We're just waiting for, once we've got all them buildings, the basic models in, the block out will look a lot better. I mean, we've started getting some of the buildings, as we've said, in, majority of them done, but once every single one's in, it'll look like we're actually nearly there. Then it's all down to mastering texturing to make everything come to life. And I think that is about it for now.
We'll probably do another video before we hand in for Christmas, just to show where we accomplished, what we didn't manage to get done with the time we had.
Yeah.
So, that's about it.
Oh, and as far as the day-night cycle that we had initially, as you can see, it's doing it now, but we were thinking of having 2 separate settings, one in the day, one in the night, to represent how different life is in the day to what it is at night. You know, like in the day everyone's shopping and stuff like that, whereas in the night there might be 1 or 2 people walking down the street going out to a pub or something, but there'd be lights on in the upper parts of the building because it's people's bedrooms or something. All the shops would be shut, and obviously the lighting would look really nice if we could master that for the night scenes. So that'd add a bit of an extra feature.
Yeah, that'll be... We could possibly implement that. We'll definitely be able to implement that before the Christmas hand-in. It's not a case of too difficult, but that's where we're at. Day night. Hopefully, you could saw the sun transition. Then that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're just all waiting on people's buildings, and everyone's getting underway with assets. So we're trying to full steam ahead, really, for the midway handing. And the further we get along, the sooner, the faster we can start adding all the crazy awesome stuff. So yeah, that's it. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot.